Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Alpha 2.2 gave us a load of new features and 2.2.1 is already on the PTU. So today I thought I'd talk about the 2.3 patch that should be in our hands by, at least in the PTU anyway, by the end of March, and my educated expectations for that release. Well, obviously the Starfarer hangar ready. The Starfarer was supposed to be released in January to our hangars, but it keeps on getting tweaks and edits. It sounded finished a couple of months ago. Last I heard, they added a bay window, and it was getting even more polish. Unless there is some form of unforeseen blocker when they Q&A it, I would expect it to be in relevant hangars in 2.3. Players with a Gemini should also be getting a hangar loaner of the Starfarer 2 to walk about in. It will be the largest ship we've ever had to explore, and I'm really looking forward to taking a look. The Reliant should also be hangar ready. It's been getting so much attention recently. I thought it was going to be hangar ready possibly in 2.2, but now it's almost certain for 2.3 in my opinion. It's been getting, as I said, lots of attention on the CIG shows as well, lots of little sneak peeks and that sort of stuff. Again, as long as there's no unforeseen blockers, I'd expect that very much to be hangar ready in 2.3. The item system 2.0 is slowly being rolled out. This time, with 2.3, we're likely to get shields. So we've already seen coolers, we've seen the refactoring of power plants in 2.2. 2.3 will likely to add more functionality and interface with power plants, as well as getting those shields added and getting them refactored. Basically, all of the systems are getting refactored, whereas previously we would have a single size 3 shield in a 325A, and that's in the old system. In the new system we'll have 3 light shields or 3 small shields in the 325A. This gives loads more customization, options and tuning for each individual ship and your playstyle and the way the game plays. There is likely to be other equipment being added in the future as well. So, stuff that we don't have too much information about, like radars, avionics, scanners, armor, tons of miscellaneous equipment. But the refactored shields are a massive step to the completion of the item system 2.0. Character animations for our characters seem to be getting a lot of love recently. 2.2 saw the re-implementation of EVA, that physicalized system where our bodies would deform and we got better ragdolls. Also, FPS animations were added, so we got the cover of pistols and that sort of stuff, and everything seemed to get a bit smoother. It's likely we're going to be getting some more animations and abilities in 2.3, so vaulting and traversal animations seem to be the main ones that I would expect here. They've been being worked on by CIG for some time now, so we're going to see characters start to negotiate obstacles, interacting with scenery, passively and that sort of stuff, better animations in general, and stuff that make you feel like you're interacting with the environment, basically. It's likely to come with 2.3, we're going to get something more at least. Expect lots more coming in the patches in the future though. More first-person shooter guns. So we've already had the laser rifle and ballistic pistol added in 2.2. I would expect more weapons to come online for use in the mini persistent universe throughout the patches this year. So we're going to see grenades, holograms, and shields. We're likely to get just small releases like a shotgun, another pistol, stuff like that slowly added. So we're possible going to see some more stuff for 2.3. More weapons as well in the rec store and store on the website, and FPS guns and that sort of stuff. So think renting the M5A laser and other weapons that exist in the game at the moment, but you can't get them unless you pull them off other ships. Also, we've obviously seen the laser rifle been added, as I said earlier. I'd expect that to be added to the store at some point so we can rent one or buy one. So something really important, persistence and the Kasaba outlet. One of the largest additions we're going to see in the not too distant future will be persistence. It's going to be in its very first iteration though, and it's quite likely, or at least very possible, that it might start to appear in 2.3, seeing the Kasaba clothing outlet store. This will be basically a clothing shop, so you can buy different outfits and accessories for your character. It represents a bit more than that though. It represents as well the ability to purchase items in-game without the aid of the website, and may come with a few other features too, other than just a new Kasaba outlet area, changing loadouts if we have clothes then we're going to need the ability to equip them, and hopefully for those changes, and as the name of the system suggests, them to persist. Inventories for characters and ships. Some way for loadouts basically to be changed in the mini persistent universe and persist on servers rather than just locally being stored on your hard drive in the XML files. They have been working on various bits and bobs for this for a while now. I expect to start to see this implemented pretty soon as well. NPC animations and AI in general. So again, with persistence, we're likely to see NPCs tending shops. Foundry 42 Frankfurt have been working a lot with AI and some of the systems by which NPCs will move around and look more alive. I expect that soon after persistence, or with persistence, the first iteration, we're going to see NPCs going about their business, possibly even before full subsumption. So we're going to see them tending shops. They're going to be looking to make the universe feel more alive with them. Persistence will be getting a lot of updates in the future. This is basically me just talking about the first iteration of it, as I said, and we're going to see lots more in 2.4, 2.5, 2.6 to get this system more and more built out. So we're also likely to see adjustments to the reputation system and the way that outlaws work. We have that new rep system in 2.2. That's going to evolve a lot, I'd expect, over the next few patches. Chris has already talked about having a jail. There's also planned areas for outlaws to spawn away for law-abiding folks. Expect more gameplay, expect more availability to become an outlaw and it to actually make more game sense than just going rogue, basically. Loot, cargo, and salvage mechanics. So this is all kind of folded into one for me, and let me explain why. They've been working on a loot mechanic for a while now, where NPCs and player ships will drop various loot when they die. To make this work, really, they need the ability to appropriately store cargo on your ship. So, in my opinion, you can expect some early implementation of these mechanics, which can be considered looting, because pirate ships and player ships will drop loot. Cargo, because you'll need somewhere to be able to literally pick that stuff up and put it away. And salvage, because when you're looting, you're kind of salvaging. It's not the proper salvaging mechanic. It's more loot and cargo, to be honest. But I would assume that it will be really simple, the first implementation of that we might get with 2.3. And if not 2.3, then very soon afterwards, I would expect. It's really, really simple stuff. So like when a ship explodes, it leaves loot. You can grab it in EVA or get it into your ship with expert maneuvers, or maybe even they might implement tractor beams, and then lock it to the physics grid of your ship. Just really simple stuff. We're likely to see more improvements in 2.3 in general as well, though. And I'm not just talking about optimization. I'm talking like the party system and chat system. They're continually receiving improvements, as well as getting like the ignore list added that they've been talking about. So you can ignore players if they're annoying you. And that sort of stuff. They're also going to continually be upgrading the amount of players, that the player cap in the mini PU. We currently have 24 in each server at the moment. They're going to try and be pushing that every patch they can to try and get more players in, because it's important for the finished multiplayer game. Just a note on concept sales, because they did suggest that there was going to be a concept sale in March. We have some ships that are still to go on concept sale that we know about. The Polaris light corvette, the Tavaran Prowler, the Drake Dragonfly, the space motorbike, basically, and a newly announced small mining ship. I would expect one of these to go on concept sale at least in March at some point for people that are interested, and the rest of them throughout the year. They're not incredibly important to Squadron 42. It's possible we might see the Polaris there, but I wouldn't expect to see the others, certainly not featured prominently anyway. Maybe the Tavaran Prowler, who really knows? Who knows? But we're going to see some of those cool concept ships go on concept sale at some point. And finally, something possible, extremely unlikely, more of a Hail Mary pass, but it's not beyond the realms of impossibility, is getting the new Nyx landing zone. So, in the future, we're definitely going to see the Nyx landing zone in a very similar way, what I think is going to be for 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, in the way that we've got ArcCorp's Area 18. So you'll just walk around the area, you'll have access to it via your lift, rather than as a landable location. So Delmar, or the Nyx landing zone, is a large asteroid with an atmosphere. We basically saw that on the procedural tech for procedurally generated planets demo, someone landing on that in a Cutlass. We're not going to be getting well, it's very, very unlikely we'll be getting the procedural landing stuff, but we'll get the internal landing zone in a similar way to ArcCorp's Area 18. So it's going to be a new area for us to explore. They talk about as well it having like huge or extensive system of disused mining tunnels that the criminal element used there. But I expect that we're just going to see the top layer of Delmar, of this landing zone. So we'll see the shops, we'll see a little bit of the tunnels, we'll see the slums. Now, the tourist-friendly version, basically, in the main hub for it. I have no idea how close that is to actually being released, but I get the feeling from CIG that they are talking about it, and it's going to be relatively soon. It could be a surprise 2.3 launch. It could be a surprise 2.4 launch. We're definitely going to see it within the next few patches, unless there's some sort of crazy blocker or something amazing else comes out before then. So, hopefully we'll have another landing zone to explore very, very soon. Anyway, guys, that was my predictions and educated expectations for 2.3. We will start to know more in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. But CIG do tend to be a bit secretive when it comes to exactly what features are going to be in or planned to be in, because they don't want to give people hopes or dreams or basically let us down. If they say a feature's going to be in somewhere, we expect it to be in. That's why people get annoyed by like the Starfarer not being in January and that sort of stuff. So they give us less details or they're more vague. But with these patches, with the monthly releases of content, we'll get what is ready, what is suitable to go into our hands, what doesn't cause us massive amounts of crashes. Saying that, obviously the PTU, all this stuff will go on the PTU first to try and hammer out some of the other major issues that may be caused by their implementation. Some of them being major crashes. But anyway, I've ranted and rambled on long enough. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help me. And tell me if you're excited for 2.3. What did you think of 2.2? What do you expect in 2.3 and in the near future as well, I suppose, beyond that. Anyway, guys, you take care, and I'll see you in the verse.